Hey guys, Ernie here, and welcome to the Paleo Hiker MD channel. We've all been there. We've been online, we've been checking things out, and we see something that we think has to be super cool. Doesn't cost a lot. Then you see those crazy photoshopped images from China of the stove with this massive flame in the middle of it. You know it's completely made up, but still. I mean, it's probably totally junk, but it looks really cool. And you're being pulled in, regardless of the fake Photoshop and the crazy wording and the names that have 50 different words in it. Yeah, I was pulled in by this stove. So is it any good? Spoken about it quite a few times here on the channel lately in particular, but noise seems to get to me more and more as I get older. And because of that, I really like alcohol stoves. Even at home sometimes now, I'll just have them under my alcohol stoves in the kitchen, and I'll just get my Trangia out and I'll make some water with the Trangia, nice and slow, 10, 12-minute boil, make some pour over coffee. It's just nice and quiet. Let me show you guys a big alcohol stove that I recently picked up. It is nice and quiet, and I'm just not sure if it's going to be any good. All right, guys, this thing is pretty freaking cool. Okay, this is the QRQ portable stove kit. I mean, look how portable it is. This thing's tiny. I mean, it's ultralight. You can fit it in a backpack pretty easily. Anyway, dimensions 7.8 by 3.1 by 7.8, weighs 2.6 pounds or 41.5 ounces. Made out of stainless steel. The fuel is liquid fuel like denatured alcohol or heat, which is what I'll use tonight. Costs 20 bucks. It's a lot of stove for $20, and it's sturdy for $20. Made out of China. Looking at this stove bottom, okay, pretty straightforward. It's got very sturdy feet. It's got super sturdy handles. This stove is sturdy. Look at the size of these aluminum pot stands. I mean, these things are 1/8 of an inch thick probably. I mean, they are hefty, okay? Super, super hefty. You can take these off if you want to. You can take this ring off if you want to. No reason to, but you can. It has a control knob up here. You can see what it does. Closes it. Very straightforward, all right? But that's how you control the flame. It's a little rudimentary, but it is there. One problem is this distance right here is pretty wide, so you have to use a pretty wide pot. Now you can fix that by putting a grate over it, which we might do. You can put a grate over it and then you can use a smaller pot. But it is one of the limitations, which we'll talk about. This is right at like between 5 and 6 inches, so it needs to be a pretty wide pot. You can get it to work with certain pots, but you can't use, like, for example, a standard 750 milliliters Toaks pot, like a titanium pot. Couldn't do it. Now, realistically, you're probably going to be using this big honker of a stove for something else, something bigger anyway. It's got 5 of these removable wicks. I don't know how easy they're going to come out. Once they barely stayed in. There you go, there's one. They barely stayed in whenever they first came out, when I first got it, but now that I've burnt through it quite a few times, it's kind of this little removable wick. It's got like a mesh on top. I'm not really sure what the deal is, but you got to have them in there. First I thought I only had 4 at first, and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. But then the 5th one happened to be inside of the box. Control knob, we talked about that. As far as lighting it, you want to pour your fuel directly in, and then you want to light it. And you can adjust the flame with this. I'll show you guys. It works sort of, but not really. It is pretty easy to extinguish, which is really nice. If you want to turn it off, you just close it down and you're good to go. We're going to try to light this bad boy up, show you the flame pattern. Then we're going to do a standard 2-cup boil test and show you guys how long it takes 2 cups of water to get to a boil. What do you think? What do y'all think going in? Let's play a little game. Do you think this thing's going to be strong? You think it's going to get water to a boil quickly? Or do you think it's going to take a while? Go down in the comments. Let me know. I'm waiting. I mean, looks cool. Should work great. It's got 5 big ports. Well, let's take a look at the flame pattern, and then maybe you'll be able to decide what you think the results will be. I did forget something, which probably gives you a little clue. It comes with one of these big wind guards. These things are huge. Comes with one of these big wind guards, which is very hard, hold on, to get out of this can, but or this bag. You can see, so it goes all the way around the outside. That's telling you that this is an alcohol stove, because alcohol stoves are very subject to the wind. Anyway, it does come with this for the same price, which is a pretty good deal. So there you go. This stove is very interesting. There's plenty to like and there's plenty to dislike, to be honest with you. And at the end of the day, we're talking about a $20 stove that comes with a probably $6 or $8 windscreen. So it's probably a $10 or $12 stove. It's crazy that they can create stuff like this for so cheap. That's China for you. As far as pros go, it is an impressive flame. Like, it does create a lot of flame. It's got those 5 ports and it puts out quite a bit of heat. It supports large pots, which is very nice. It is very robust. It's got an adjustable flame, which initially I didn't think worked very well, but actually I think it does. It's not good in the middle. When it's wide open, it's really good, and you can crank it down really low to a simmer, which really is what you want. You can't have a lot of control in the middle because it just kind of scissors close. But nonetheless, it does work. Lastly, it does have a kind of a cool factor to it. I mean, it looks nice. It's robust. It's got these handles underneath. It's cool. It's got this little dial. All that looks pretty cool. But there are, of course, cons. It's bulky. It has no carrying case. Not even a little bag. Like nothing. It's just in the box. And I guess they assume that you're not going to be using this on trail, which you're not. It's going to be used somewhere, where it's just going to sit there. It is limited to larger pots unless you modify it by using like a grate or something. And the other thing is that 2 things. You saw it, and I'll replay it for you here. It's hard to get the alcohol straight into one of the ports. And if you spill it around the top, what you need to do is just give it 30 seconds. Let all that drain. What I did was I lit it too quick, and there was a little bit pooled, and it kind of sputtered like you saw. That's a problem. It's a safety issue. You got to be very, very careful with it, and I'll tell you guys to be very careful with it. The other thing is that when it dies, it keeps popping. Let me show you, like this. It keeps popping like that for 5 minutes at least. I mean, I don't know if I should just close it down and put it out. There can't be alcohol in there. I think it has to be fumes or something like that. But it does pop for a very long time. You have to be really, really careful, especially if you run out of gas. If you run out of gas and you go try to fill it up and it pops, you're going to have a serious problem if the gas that you're pouring in there ignites. So guys, be very, very careful. It's a $12 to $20 stove for a reason. It's got a big chamber down there. If you're going to refill it up, close it, make sure it's completely out before you add any alcohol. And the last big con is that it uses a lot of gas. I mean, it does. To get 2 cups of water to a boil, you got to put at least 2 ounces of fuel. I didn't measure it exactly, but it was about 2 ounces. I think it's going to use 2 to 3 ounces every single time. 1 ounce is just not going to get you very far. So just realize that. And if you're going to be doing some cooking with this thing, I think you're going to use a lot of fuel. And then you're going to get into the problem of it running out of fuel, it being super hot. You got to make sure that it's completely out before you add more fuel, because you're going to create a potential big problem. So just be super careful with this stove. So besides the inherent danger behind this stove, I mean, what's not to love, right? It's a big old, powerful 5-burner alcohol stove. I would stay away from it, to be honest with you. I like the stove. I think it's pretty cool, but I think it has too many possibilities for badness. There's this one guy on YouTube, and I'll try to find the video, but he added some alcohol to something he thought was out, and it wasn't, and it spurt across his entire room. It burnt a hole in his shirt. It burnt holes in his couch. I mean, it was crazy. I'll see if I can find that, but it is super important. This can be dangerous. I mean, I've been doing alcohol stoves now for 10, 12 years, and I'm very careful. I'm very paranoid about it. And this particular stove scares me. So I wouldn't buy it. It was cool to get, but I wouldn't buy it. If you buy it at your own risk, and be super careful. I saw it. I knew I had to have it. I'm the stove guy, so I had to get it and try it out, but I don't know. If you're looking for a large volume alcohol stove, I wouldn't do this one. In my experience, all the large volume alcohol stoves that I have used have been scary, because they usually have a tank of a lot of alcohol, and that makes me very, very nervous. What do you guys think? Do you agree? You think I'm just a pansy? Just throw it in there. If it blows up in your face, so be it. Let me know down in the comments if you think this is a cool stove, something you would pick up. Do you own it? Do you have tips on how to make it safer? Obviously, guys, I mean, if you're safe and you're smart, you can do with anything, but I try to be as careful as I can and warn you guys about potential pitfalls. So what do y'all think? Do me a favor, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up down below. We're always looking for different types of stoves, and this one definitely fits that bill. So hit the thumbs up if you like it. Comment if you have productive or interesting comments down below. Leave them for us. But most importantly, guys, if you could subscribe, that would really help my channel out. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe, because it really helps just make my channel grow, and that's ultimately what I want to do. I want to get to that 100,000 subscriber mark, which is where I really think my numbers will start to improve. I like YouTube. I enjoy it. This is my 10th year. January 1st, 2025 will be my 10-year anniversary on YouTube. I've enjoyed the ride so far. I want to continue to make it work. I enjoy the fact that I'm able to make enough money on this channel to be self-propagating, meaning I make enough money to buy all the gear. Doesn't affect my household, doesn't affect anything. And I've actually been able to take the grand majority of the money, I'd say the money I've made in 10 years, which has all been in the last 5, I've probably spent about 15 or 20% of it on the channel. The other 80% goes to my kids for college and helps my daughter, who's now in college, and my son, and my new stepdaughter, who will be going to college in 3 years. So we've got 3 kids to put through college. Oh my gosh. Please watch videos, guys. Watch them. Just stop now and go over and just get on my channel and hit just, at night, just hit play all and just let it run all night. I got 3 kids, guys. Put them through college. Come on. Watch some videos. As always, guys, I appreciate you checking out the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Stay tuned for more videos soon.